Welcome back to Hawk Talk, your home for all things National Park Nighthawk athletics on the Nighthawk Network. Alongside NPC Athletic Director Jason Hudnell, I'm Mark Oliver. Sports information for Nighthawk Nation. Hawk Talk is presented by Hot Springs Baptist Church, your official home of Nighthawk men's and women's soccer this season, and by First Security Bank. First Security Bank, a proud sponsor of the National Park Nighthawks in 2021. First Security Bank, bank better. Coach, welcome back. So many exciting things going on at National Park College, but this week I feel like we've got to start right at the top. We have announced our brand new softball coach.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's exciting. We've kind of known. I think we teased it a little bit last week on the Hawk Talk, but now we're excited to announce Coach Autumn Wyatt coming to us to serve as our second head softball coach. And so Coach Wyatt's done a great job as she's come in, really hit the ground running. She comes from a championship lineage. She's got some Division II experience, both as a player and as a coach. She's had some success in the postseason at a championship level, both as a player and as a coach, and really had a lot of the qualities that we're looking for. And Mark, you've heard me say it before, and those of you who have followed Nighthawk Athletics, you know that one of our mantras is that we expect to win. And that means something very special to us, and it's not just winning on the scoreboard, but that winning is in our community and in our classroom and making sure we're producing the right kinds of citizens and really impacting lives. And Coach Wyatt, she checked off all of those boxes for me as I was interviewing our candidates and talking with those that I wanted to come and lead our young women with Nighthawk softball, and just couldn't be more excited about who she is and the job that she's going to do. And like I said, with the experience that she brings in, she's just going to do a terrific job for us.
And of course, the softball program, not too many months ago, very successful under Coach Taylor, advancing very deep into postseason in its first postseason appearance. So, really tough footsteps to follow in. But Coach Wyatt, like you said, brings a laundry list resume of achievements, awards, accomplishments, and already at practice with the softball women. And one thing that I've really noticed out of Coach Wyatt, she's taking the time, she's making the time to meet with each of them individually to determine what their needs are, what their strengths are, what they hope to accomplish out of being a member of this softball program. And so far, everything looks really good.
Hey, you're exactly right, Mark. And anytime a new coach comes in, there's that transition time. And it's a difficult process for student athletes when they've been maybe recruited by one coach and now another coach is coming in. And oftentimes that student athlete, there's a little anxiety there. And so Coach Wyatt's done a really good job of coming in and just really evaluating each player, where they are for their skill sets and how they're going to fit into what she's wanting to do. She's taking the time having some one-on-one meetings this week with each of her student athletes, looking at their academic side, looking at eligibility, looking at just asking them. What I love about it is, as I sit in and as I listen in to some of those conversations, she's just asking about what's their goal in life. What are we trying to do? What's our degree plan? What's our next step? How can we help you be successful at the next stage and at the next step? And so that really just factors into what we're trying to do as an athletic program. And she's trying to do that same thing with her softball program.
And if it's any indication of what the future is to come under Coach Wyatt, the future is extremely bright for Nighthawk softball.
Yeah, I think so, Mark. And you hit it on the head that there are some big shoes to fill. Coach Taylor, we know, did a tremendous job, and our softball team played for a championship. Last year they had made it to the championship round of the region tournament, and really gave Murray State all they wanted right there at the end. And so there's an expectation there, just like there is with all of our programs that we have high expectations. We want to do well. Coach Wyatt knows that. She knew that coming in, and I think she's embracing that challenge for sure.
For your first peek at the National Park softball team under Coach Wyatt, stay tuned to Nighthawk Athletics on social media for the upcoming fall schedule for National Park College. Coach, let's switch ranks a little bit. Let's go to soccer, men's and women's soccer. A couple of tough losses over the past week, falling to Eastern Oklahoma State College and Northern Oklahoma College, Tonkawa, Coach. But still, win or lose, we see these teams continue to improve game after game, whether it's communication or placement or ball movement. There's no quit in either of these teams. And even if they take an L on the scoreboard, they find a way to turn a loss into a win through growth.
Yeah, hey, they really are. I'm proud of, losing's not acceptable to us. That's not what we're going to be about. It's not who we are. But just like you said, these young men and women, they're realizing it's really a testament, Mark, to the level of play in our region. If you're not familiar with JUCO soccer, and oftentimes people kind of see the JUCO level and they're not really sure where that might rank. Just as an example, we played some preseason exhibition games against some NAIA schools and NCAA Division II schools and came out victorious on some of those in the preseason. And now we're struggling a little bit in our region. And again, I think it's just a testament to the quality of soccer that is in our region, that are at the JUCO level, that I think sometimes is a little higher quality than what people expect. And I think our young men and women are really realizing that. We're coming in, unfortunately for them, it's a tough time to come in when a lot of schools have those what we call super sophomores, because they're able to come back for that third year of eligibility due to getting that COVID year back. And we've basically got a team full of freshmen, and that's okay. We like that. We like that we're young right now. We're gaining some valuable experience, and these young men and women are getting precious minutes on the game field that's really going to prove dividends as we move this ball forward.
And if you see any of these players, you ask any of these players, not a single one of them has their head down.
Absolutely
right now.
not, yeah.
They're eager, they're hungry, and they have a game circled on their calendar this week. They've had it there for quite some
You're
time.
right.
Now, after a slew of home games, taking the road over to Mena to take on Rich Mountain this week.
Sure. Rich Mountain, because of their proximity, has kind of grown into a little bit of a rivalry for us. We play them in baseball. We play them in softball as a non-conference game, and now we're participating in the same region as they are in this 21-22 year, and so that's going to be a fun game. It's coming up tomorrow. And so we always, anytime we're playing the Bucks, when the Nighthawks and the Bucks get together, then it's going to be fiercely competitive. They've had some success in our region. They're fairly new to the region. Have had some success a couple of years ago on the men's side, and so it'll be a really good opportunity. We started the year with this big homestand, and this is actually going to be our first road test in the region. So it'll be good to see how our young men and women react to going on the road, playing a very quality opponent.
For the Nighthawk fans out there, if you want to see two really great collegiate soccer matches, Friday on the road at Mena at UA Rich Mountain, the women play at 12, the men following suit at 2 p.m.
That's right.
Coach, another big game coming up this weekend as we switch gears yet again. Nighthawk baseball in full swing this fall. The fall exhibition games. Coach Rich Thompson has these guys out. They're winning. They're successful already so far in the fall schedule. And we've seen quite a bit of new faces out there as well. We talked about it in the last Hawk Talk. We've replaced old talent that has moved on and moved on to the next level. And we have a ton of new faces doing great things already this weekend, heading down to Arkadelphia to take on the Reddies of Henderson State.
That's right. And if you haven't been able to catch a game of Nighthawk baseball, I'd really encourage you to, if you're a baseball fan, this is going to be a year you want to come and get a little taste of Nighthawk baseball. It's going to be just a fun year. We're going to be playing our games there at Majestic Park, which is going to be the inaugural year for that ballpark here in Hot Springs. So that's going to be a lot of fun to be make that our home right there at Majestic Park. It's going to be a great place to watch college baseball. The fall games are always fun because you get to play some people that maybe you don't play in conference play, like this weekend where we're going to get to go down to Henderson State and play an NCAA Division II opponent. Really quality opportunity for our young men and women, our young men to go and be able to play against a Division II and NCAA. Oftentimes those coaches are kind of scouting our team, and maybe it's an opportunity for some of our young men once they leave here to get that opportunity to go. They've had a really good fall. I think they've picked up 4 wins right now. I think they're 4-2 this fall, so have beaten some quality opponents, had some good at-bats. Just really impressed with some of the pitching that Coach Thompson has this year and how he's put together this pitching staff and what he's got on the mound and then also in the batter's box. It's going to be a really fun year for Nighthawk baseball. I'm looking forward to it.
Coach, last but certainly not least, men's and women's basketball, it'll be here before we know it. Coach Battles, Coach Hargrove have their respective teams working really hard in the gym. Coach Hargrove has his guys out on the quad super early in the mornings here every morning, way earlier than I ever want to be up.
Yeah.
But that's a testament to how hard this team is working in September and how much they want to convert that into wins come November.
That's right. According to NJCAA rules, right now we're limited on the number of hours they can work, and it's just off-season workouts right now. And then come October 1 is when basketball season officially gets started. But these guys in the weight room and out there in the quad, like you talk about, getting that running in, their bodies are looking good. They're doing a great job working on the conditioning side. Coach Hargrove and Coach Rogers, his assistant, have really done a tremendous job getting them in shape. Same thing with Coach Battles in the women's program. He is doing a tremendous job getting those young ladies ready for the season. Got to sit in on a couple of practices that he's been going through, and man, those ladies, the skill development that both teams are going through, the Kettle's going to be a fun place to watch basketball this season for sure.
Can't wait to get back in action. Coach, appreciate your time as always. You can follow Nighthawk Athletics on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even Snapchat. Coach, a lot of big games coming up this week. Good luck. Get 'em Hawks.
Get 'em Hawks.